Otherness would be good though.
Yeah, the fucking world shaker.
She's good in every grade, actually.
Yeah.
If there's
The world shaker's a piece of poo poo.
I'm gonna take this.
You're gonna take my Golgari Queen? Okay.
For my
Yeah.
I want to make purely coral.
God damn it.
What?
Hi, hello, welcome to my channel.
That is much less satisfying when you say it that way.
Yeah, but oh, was I muted on your end? I don't know.
No, you're not muted on my end. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, but apparently I haven't fixed my Stream Deck thing.
Oh.
So like the mute button was tied to my old mixer, not the Go XLR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. That's fine. My parents made me.
That's fair.
No, it wasn't.
Life's
also not fair.
I'm also going to need the audience to like cue me in on whether our levels are approximately equal, because I had no clue until I like chopped up last week's stream into bits that you were so much quieter than me.
Oh.
So, yeah. And, you know, I could have fixed it in post if I'd have gone through and, like, chopped up our little things and adjusted the volume individually, but that seemed like a lot of work, so I just...
That was too much effort.
I hit the match loudness button and prayed for the best. And because there is no God, it did not come out perfect.
Oh, well, that sounds like a personal issue, and you should probably try solving that.
Yeah,
or don't. That's the lazy way out.
That's why I'm asking my chat to let me know if you guys are the same, if we're the same volume.
Oh.
So, not to downplay last week's episode, because it was pretty cool interviewing Chaz Stevens, but remember how I was all like, oh, you know, I like to one-up the scathing atheist guys and like cover the news stories that they're going to cover the day before, and this time, no matter what, like, we got Chaz Stevens. They always talk about Chaz Stevens and his shenanigans, so I one-up them because I actually interviewed the guy.
Did they interview him?
No. They interviewed one of the guys from the Shiny Happy People documentary that just dropped on, I think, Amazon Prime.
Oh, so they just one up you then?
Yes.
Well, you know what they say: get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's no way they're not covering Pat Robertson dying, so I will beat them to that one.
Fair enough.
And then I will be happy.
I think so. I was going to cover Pat Robertson dying, but then when I saw in the stream title that, like, oh, that's the thing we're covering. Okay, cool. I don't have to talk about him, but I do want to gloat.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Silly Shinobi says Rhino has his own whole chan. Hey, just for everybody knows, and this is cheating if Stoff mentions it, but if you figure out which artwork the advertisement for today's episode came from, good luck with that.
There's an advertisement for today's episode?
whenever I go live, I do the tweet thing on YouTube and on Twitch. And I use the same picture, and the picture may or may not have been from porn.
Nice.
Who knows?
Oh, was it that gay porn that you showed me before?
No, it wasn't that one, but you know, my daddy did tell me a way to not pull the skin off. But no, it's actually the porn that Stoff made of both of our characters. That I went ahead and took a screenshot from that censored all. It didn't have any bits on it that could be seen. It's just my character's face. But I'm waiting for somebody on Twitter to be like, I know what that's from. I know what that's from. What have you brought upon this cursed land?
Yeah.
Jassa in my chat, Cirrus, go to therapy. Jassa, here's the problem. I went to therapy. This is the result.
What's Jassa doing in your chat? Jassa's mine.
Jassa is ours. We have shared custody, motherfucker. I play Magic with Jassa.
This is my weekend.
Sure, community days are mine. Axo says, Cirrus, no eating the mic. I'm not eating the mic. How would I be eating the mic?
You were clipping quite a bit earlier. I'm kind of fidgeting with stuff on my end because I'm not sure if that's a you thing or a me thing. It might be the way I've got things set up.
I hope it's not a me thing, because if it's a me thing, I don't know how to fix it.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a me thing because I like cranked everything up on your end because you were so quiet last week.
Gotcha.
And then I brought both of ours back down an approximately equal amount, so hopefully it's okay.
Fair. Doggy says, why are microphones so NAMI? It's an expensive addiction. Just get yourself a cheap Fi-Fine microphone and munch on that.
Luigi
you don't
Potter,
need filet mignon.
Luigi Potter says, I listened to Crab Rave the moment I heard about Pat passing. Have you heard the story of how Pat Robertson got his name?
There's a story about how he got his name?
Yes, because Pat's not a boy's name, and his dad was, like, more conservative than he was. Like, his dad was a congressman who lobbied against ending segregation.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, the idea that such a man would name his son with a girl's name, a stereotypical girl's name, is kind of weird. So, like, the story of how he got his name, and it's like a 2-line story. And it's just the stupidest thing ever. And it's like, why would you name your kid because of this? It's because when he was born, his big brother, when he first met him, patted him on the cheek and said, Pat, Pat, Pat. So they were like,
sure? Are you sure it's not because he answered the phone saying, no, this is Patrick?
No, because his name isn't Patrick. It's just Pat.
That is unbelievably stupid, but also wholesome for a man who was such a monster in his lifetime.
Yeah, and coming from a dad who was such a monster. It was like he wasn't born in a vacuum.
No, everything about that. Jesus. Okay, then. Well, now I feel like we've slightly humanized the dude who was a couple steps left of Hitler.
We'll walk that back. Don't you worry about it.
Don't we worry about it? Okay.
Okay. So, shit. So before we get to the articles, which that was supposed to stay hidden, I had this whole thing set up and it was all perfect and ready to go, but then I screwed it up because I'm me.
Okay.
So yeah.
What'd you
do? What I do? I have a video.
Is it the video of you falling into the bed and your clothes turning to lingerie?
No.
Again?
No. I only play that like once every 5 months or so.
Maybe
twice.
Maybe twice.
Okay. Anyway, no, this is. Let's see. I hope you can hear it. I think I have it set up so that you should be able to hear it and the stream should be able to hear it.
Let's find out.
Show is brought to you by Blackout Coffee. It is.
You can't hear Charlie Kirk?
I see Charlie Kirk. I see his face shrinking on the screen as we speak. I don't hear the voice coming out from his rapidly decompressing vocal cords.
God damn it. Advanced audio properties. Oh, somebody sent me money.
Neurondiputs. He tipped.
I could have guessed that it was Neurondiputs. Says, new heart reaction thing in YouTube chat is awful on every level. Blocks chat and the emojis flying are distracting. What? There's a new thing on YouTube?
Oh, wait a minute. Are they trying to do the whole, like, is YouTube trying to manually do Capagen? That's funny. That's funny. I like Capagen, though. Jassa, thank you for the drink. I will drink. Said Kappa, what now? Fluffy B1, Capagen is a plugin you can put onto your streams so that when people throw emotes into the chat, the emotes fly on the screen. It incentivizes it from a purely psychological perspective. It gives a little bit of dopamine hit.
Cirrus.
Yes.
Can you hear my Windows volume sound?
No.
No. I have to send that out to the broadcast stream. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Let's see. How about now? Can you hear it?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Not.
I don't know why it's been like this for a little while.
Looking for the setting now where I can. Can you hear my curse button when I do this?
I hear that.
Why do you hear that? But you don't hear anything else. Welcome to Tech Support with Cirrus and Rhino. Okay, let's see. How about now?
I hear nothing.
How do you hear nothing? It's going out. I can see it going out to the chat.
Yeah, doesn't mean I hear it.
How's it going out to everything except for you? Okay, this might be a Zoom thing. Also, it sounds like my noise gate is like super aggressive today.
It is.
I just turned on the. Okay, I'm changing my.
The noise gate makes you sound a little bit like one of those music tracks you would download from LimeWire.
Yeah.
Superforian says, "Why the hell are you using Zoom?"
Gate.
Because it works for what we do.
Yeah, it works really well for what we do.
So like here's the thing: if we use like vMix, that would cost one of us like $1,000.
Yeah, vMix is super fucking expensive.
vMix is garbage. I'm just gonna throw it out right there. I think vMix is garbage.
Can you hear that?
I don't know what I'm supposed to be hearing.
The volume. Can you hear Charlie?
Powered by Blackout Coffee.
Now I can. Yes.
Okay, I don't know what I did that you can hear Charlie, but not my system sounds. But there we go.
He's very low, but I can hear him.
Yeah, we can fix the lowness.
Show is brought to you by Blackout Coffee. It is powered by Blackout Coffee.
I can.
Family owned.
100%
committed to conservative.
He's whispering it. He's ashamed to say it.
Okay. But
Show is brought to you by Blackout Coffee.
That's better.
That was better. Okay.
Show is brought to you by Blackout Coffee. It is powered by Blackout Coffee. Family owned, 100% committed to conservative values from sourcing the beans to the roasting process.
Okay, so everybody's been making fun of him for what comes next in his stupid little video. Okay. And we'll get to that too, I assure you. But my takeaway from this is there's a coffee company out there that dedicates itself to conservative values, everything from harvesting the beans to whatever. So
how do you conservatively harvest beans? Slave labor?
No, you make sure that you avoid any fair trade stuff whatsoever. So what that means is they exploit the workers that are living in poverty in oh my god, now we have an echo apparently. God damn it.
Let me see the amiibo. That was supposed to go to Wayne. Wayne didn't need it. Wayne's a bastard.
How about now? Is there still an echo? And can Sir still...
I can hear it.
You can still hear the video?
Yes.
Is there still an echo?
I don't know if there's an echo.
I don't know. I've got new tech, so I'm still figuring out how to use it. Progress only sent me $2 for a tech upgrade. No, these problems stem from the fact that I just had a tech upgrade. I'm still trying to figure out...
Jesus.
Okay. Yet...
You'll get it. You'll get it. I believe in you.
Oh, the video is reverb, not my voice. Okay. Yeah, no, that's... Okay. You're just going to have to live with it. Anyways, conservative coffee. So they're exploiting the workers. So basically, when a coffee company goes fair trade, they have to pay all sorts of extra money to get the licensing, to pay the workers a living wage. And like it costs a lot of money to get fair trade certification. So by saying we are holding to conservative values, what that means is we are actively avoiding getting fair trade certification. We are going to exploit our workers. So not only do we get to pay the workers less and take advantage of desperate people living in desperate situations, we also get to charge extra money for being a boutique coffee that caters to conservatives and then pocket the difference instead of using the difference to pay their workers better or get the fair trade certification or whatnot.
Can we make an opposite company just called Woke Beans?
Sure. But like I looked up this coffee. It is about twice the price of fair trade coffee. You get fair trade certified coffee, it's about $7 for a 12-ounce bag. These guys, it's like $14 for a 12-ounce bag. So it's twice the price of fair trade coffee, and you know that their operating expenses are lower because they don't have fair trade certification. So all else being equal, they're making more money. So they're just pocketing that difference, and that's conservative values for you. So that's my main takeaway here, is that this is a company that's basically advertising that, hey, as a selling feature, we are not only going to exploit our workforce, we're going to rip you guys, the consumer, off. Like we're ripping you off on both ends, man. And that's a selling point for these people.
And that sounds, I'm not going to lie, ripping off on both ends sounds really uncomfortable.
It does, yeah.
So you said it's the following statement that he makes that people are memeing on.
Yes.
Not that one.
Not that one. No, that one flies under the radar because the next one's so ridiculous. Now, I just tried something so that there might not be an echo, so I'm going to need you guys to tell me if there's an echo still. Oh, now we can't hear it. Fucking A. God damn it.
Blackout Coffee. It
Sorry,
is
there's just going to be an echo.
powered by Blackout Coffee. Family owned, 100% committed to conservative values from sourcing the beans to the roasting process. Customer support, go to blackoutcoffee.com/Charlie. That is blackoutcoffee.com/.
He just sounds so ridiculous when he says his own name.
He also sounds almost like the gun is being pointed to his head when he says it.
Well,
like,
yeah, it's because he's reading a script. We see him go off script in a moment, and he's really bad at going off script. Like, I'm not good at going off script. I don't do it very often. And when I do, 90% of the time, I end up just like flustering myself out and then like making a little audio note to myself, just cut the part where I went off script. Just get rid of that.
Or you get me to be here and be off script with you 24/7.
Yes, thank you, Mark Caesar. It is still echoing. I apologize for that. I don't know. Like, I have an idea of what the problem is, but it's going to take me like a few rounds of trial and error to figure it out. So I'm not doing that right now. Yeah. So, I'm not good at going off script.
Yeah.
Why is my dog is hacking up a lung over there?
My chat's also going like, hey, you need to plug DDLG Playground. Maybe not on Vice Rhino's stream.
Yeah, so anyway, like, you can tell he's reading from a script here, but when he goes off script, that's when we get to the part where everybody makes fun of it, and you can tell that, like, he loses track of where he's going and he can't figure out how to finish it, so he just kind of awkwardly stops. But like, I still love the way he says his name. Like, it's not just Black whatever wehateblackpeoplecoffee.com/Charlie. It's wehateblackpeoplecoffee.com/Charlie.
Jesus.
And I know that's not what it is, but it may as well be, right?
Charlie.
Conservative values.
Super happy to partner with them. 100% endorsement. Check it out for all your coffee needs.
This is
We
the
are
Oscar
now
time.
having to, I'm guilty of this. I'm going through my kitchen, I'm going through my refrigerator, and I'm starting to ask the question, well, is this ketchup bottle woke? Is this mustard? I mean, literally. We're at the,
Is this ketchup bottle woke? What the fuck does that mean?
Am I eating woke ketchup?
Are my pancakes woke? Have my pancakes been infected by the transes like Bud Light? What the fuck?
I will only eat pancakes with penises, damn it.
This is like when they had the fucking they were angry at Hershey's for going
Yes.
woke. So they had like, this is the his and her bar. And
Yes.
if you can guess which one has nuts, then you know what bathroom you're supposed to go to. Like, what the it was like $20 a fucking bar too. No, for no reason.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, these guys keep boycotting these companies for going woke, but like, there's no such thing as a woke company. The companies are just catering to the whims of the consumer. If they think going quote unquote woke will make them more money, they will go woke.
That's what they're gonna do.
So basically, these companies have had market analysts take a look at everything and say, hey, yeah, we're probably going to piss off the conservatives if we put up a rainbow flag this Pride Month. But, you know, research has indicated that it'll be more than offset by the people that support the LGBTQ movement that will then buy our product.
And typically the outrage that comes from the conservative movement ends up working as its own advertising as well.
Yeah, no, I have never in my life considered buying Bud Light for a second until conservatives started boycotting it. Now, I still haven't bought Bud Light, but I considered it for a second. Oh.
Mark Caesar with the super chat.
Towards ducating yourself on new tech. Oh, my chat's set to...
Jesus.
My chat is set to top chat instead of... Oh, my chat froze. God damn it. Why can't anything just work for me today? F5. Nope, that didn't do it. Restore chat. Nope, that's not working either. Is the stream even running anymore? Is my whole thing frozen?
Maybe. Not on my end.
Yeah, no, there are people in my chat. Okay, I might not be able to do articles because my computer's just frozen right now.
Oh, damn. You've just been... You actually won't be getting to Pat Robertson before then.
Yeah.
The universe has stopped you.
Yeah, indeed. No, I seem to... Okay, that is usually... When you hear Navi yell hey at me, that is my partner giving me the live updates. So, yeah, no, we can see and hear you. Thanks, honey. Dun. Okay. Not top chat, live chat. We want all of it. Towards... Oh, educating yourself. Okay, I got it, Mark. It took me a minute, but I got it. I'm sorry. This is worse tech support stuff than I've had in a while. Now I need...
It's kind of funny, though.
Yeah, well... There, let's see. Still going. There we go. My chat's back. Yay. Anyway, woke ketchup?
The place now where we have to go through is the company that makes this. And so
And he loses.
blackoutcoffee.com/Charlie. I'm sure many of you are coffee drinkers.
Did he just...
He just
Did
he
he
had
just
no
record skip himself?
Yes, he had no idea where he was going with that thought, so he just stopped it and was like, oh, I'm just going to finish the ad.
I have to wonder, is my ketchup woke? Therefore, I bought conservative coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
I think what he was trying to say is that, like, oh, we have to be so careful with, all our products nowadays to make sure we're not buying woke stuff. At least if you go to blackoutcoffee.com, then you know that your coffee is not going to be woke. You're going to be taking advantage of those impoverished farmers and paying a premium to do so.
I mean, sure. Let's pay extra.
Oh,
exploit the workers.
Apparently Charlie Kirk's audio spontaneously fixed itself.
Of course it did.
Of course.
Of course. Welcome to America, everybody. The rules are made up, and the human rights don't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
You got this.
Lesson Lucid says Kirk brain buffering. Okay. Pat Robertson. The story of the hour.
Aww.
No, well, that's not the story of the hour. We're gonna get to Trump.
You think after like seven heart transplants, he would have realized God was calling his name?
So what I find most funny about this is that it's been less than 2 years since he said, God's going to give me another 29 years.
He thought he was going to live to 110 after, again, 7 heart transplants?
Is that an actual number? You're not exaggerating for effect?
Let me double check here. Let's see here. He has had a lot of heart surgeries. Let's see here. Because I remember there was a meme posted years ago that said that after so many heart transplants, you would realize that God was calling your name. I'm just trying to see like where the actual number came from. How many heart transplants? Not how many heart transplants has there been done. How many have there been done on Robert Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson? He's too young to have had so many heart transplants.
Pat Robertson. The names are flipped. They are flipped.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Medical science defying God. Woke.
Yeah, so anyways, I don't really want to dwell I don't want to read this whole article because, it gets weirdly, nostalgic almost for him at the end. And it's like, no, the dude was an evil fucking asshole. We don't need that. But it does, at the beginning, it kind of summarizes some of the heinous shit that he said. So he suggested that American sinfulness had brought on the September 11 terrorist attacks against the United States, specifically, I believe it was lesbians and abortionists in that instance. It might have been gay people. I don't remember exact words he used, but, the usual suspects. It's their fault that 9/11 happened. The earthquake that devastated Haiti in 2010 was divine retribution for Haiti rebelling against France in 1804.
I mean, he's kind of one of the ones that have been famous for saying that the tornadoes blew up your house because you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
That just was one of his main sticking points for years.
Yeah, but that one is particularly weird for me. God waited 200 years to punish Haiti for making a deal with the devil.
Yeah, he waited a long time.
What?
Because he wanted. Well, you got to remember, he's not above the children paying for the sins of the father. This is literally half of the plagues in Egypt affected the people who were not responsible for enslaving the Israelites more than the people who were responsible.
Well, yeah, and if we look at the Amalekite genocide, it was about 400 years since the Amalekites sinned against Israel.
Yeah,
that was the thing that he was punishing them for. So
this is on track.
So yeah, I guess that tracks. Liberal Protestants embodied the spirit of the Antichrist, and feminism drives women to witchcraft. He called for the assassination of Hugo Chavez, which, I mean, Hugo Chavez was not a great guy. But I might have on occasion said things like, oh, if only a meteor would strike a gathering of Republicans, that would just solve so many problems. But like, I'm not actively calling for people to assassinate them.
No, it's a very different scenario.
I wish heart attacks upon them, but I don't wish anyone to actually actively do them harm.
But if you wish heart attacks upon them, if you've seen Death Note...
Oh, he blamed the rise of Hitler on the gays?
What?
Yeah. He also, this isn't in the article, but he was the one, and I was taught this in my Christian high school, that this was a true thing that happened. What is, if you go to raves or nightclubs or gay bars or even just normal bars sometimes, gay people that are upset about having HIV will wear rings that they have like poked themselves with.
The
like,
rings that would make their blood flow and get cut so that they could get the blood all over your food and shit.
No. It's just like a ring with like a pin on it that you prick into yourself first, and then you're just going around the club and you like smack it into random people to give them HIV.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't recall if it was Pat Robertson, but this sounds like the kind of thing that he would have said. But I remember there being something about, not trusting the towels in hotel rooms, because if a gay couple was using that towel first and they weren't washed properly, you might get the AIDS virus from them. So there was a lot of fear-mongering about AIDS from Pat Robertson.
I mean, the dude would have sucked Reagan's toes if he had the chance.
I mean, from what I've heard, Nancy Reagan would have sucked his dick, so...
I mean...
there was... Okay, so yeah, he went to Yale Law School. So this is a bit of his sordid past. He went to Yale Law School, where he met a nursing student named Adelia Elmer. They secretly got married on August 27th, 1954, and their first son, Timothy, was born 10 weeks later. That math doesn't add up for a good, righteous Christian man.
No, it doesn't. But, it doesn't have to. The Lord intervened.
Yeah, no, well,
obviously.
If you like Pat would say, I never ever indicated that in the early part of my life I didn't sow some wild oats. I sowed plenty of them, but I also said that Jesus Christ came into my life, changed my life, and forgave me.
So Jesus Christ sowed some wild oats in him.
Mm-hmm. But it's always interesting to me that these people that are so adamant that everybody live up to their moral code that they did not live up to themselves, but they demand that we legislate that everybody else has to do it. But it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay because God forgave me. It's like, okay, well, why can't I ask forgiveness for it later?
That's not how that works. That's not how salvation works.
Yes, it is. According to Christian theology, Jeffrey Dahmer's in heaven right now.
I was arguing with a Christian apologist on Twitter. Not a good idea. Don't do this.
I was
arguing with one on Twitter, and I'd ask, like, hey, so I have a question. Do you believe once saved, always saved? Like, do you think that anything can make somebody lose their salvation? Yes. It is more often than not that I hear that you cannot lose your salvation than I hear somebody try to argue that you can lose your salvation.
Yeah, well, so... if I can provide a bit of insight into this, when I was a Christian, I was kind of the opinion, I hadn't formed a solid opinion on it, but I was kind of leaning more towards the once saved, always saved thing, but not in the sense that, like, I've seen some atheists, we'll talk about once saved, always saved, like, oh, well, I was a Christian at one point, so according to that doctrine, I'm still going to heaven even though I'm an atheist now. No, that's not how it works. The way it works is that if you truly have an actual relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, there's no way that you would ever just like turn around and be like, no, that guy doesn't exist anymore. Because like think my partner, I truly have a relationship with her. Whatever may happen in the future, I'm never going to say she doesn't exist, because she just does. And I have a relationship with her. You guys on stream, you guys have never met her. You might think that I'm making this whole thing up. And
yes.
I mean, well, she's right here. Once saved, always saved. Woot woot, I'm going to imaginary heaven. Yeah, she's in the chat, but like, oh, maybe that's me just on a sock account. I'm not that good at multitasking.
He's dating Chat GPT, guys. He's dating Chat GPT.
Chat GPT doesn't give good enough hand jobs for that.
But it could.
Could it, though?
One day.
Yeah, one day, but today is not that day. But
We're
my
not talking
point
about
is,
today.
my
We're talking
point
about the
is,
future.
whatever may happen in the future, I am not going to suddenly decide that I don't believe that she even exists in the first place, because that would be stupid. So once saved, always saved. If you actually have a relationship with Jesus and it is everything that they believe it to be, then less than lucid Canadian girlfriend. Actually, she is Canadian citizen, but she grew up in the Cayman Islands, so.
My girlfriend who lives in Canada.
I mean, since I live in Canada too, is that really such a bad thing?
Okay, so
For me, it would be weirder if there was an American girlfriend.
It is the ideal for you, but Avenue Q is wonderful, and I'm gonna quote it anyway.
Okay, sure. Anyway, that was the main thing. I just wanted to talk about Pat Robertson. I just wanted to gloat at the fact that he is dead and reassure everybody that it is okay to be happy when horrible people whose lives make the world a worse place die. Because now the world is a better place because Pat Robertson is no longer in it.
I can agree with that.
Rhino, take your meds already. I took my meds this morning. Now, I have been getting the kind of allergies this season where, like, it's really bad this year. The entire inside of my skull gets itchy. And it's nasty, and I hate it.
I am just on constant Centrazine and Loratadine just to make sure that I never deal with that. I
take antihistamines, and they're supposed to, like, the one I take is supposed to last 24 hours, but it usually, like, I'll take it in the morning and it wears off by the time I'm going to bed. And then it's like, well, if I take it now, then I'm not supposed to take it in the morning. But given how long it lasts during the day, it'll wear off by the morning. So I just suffer through the night.
I just take 2.
Yeah, well, I follow the directions because I'm a fucking goody two-shoes, okay?
You know, I'm glad that you followed the directions. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad that that is a moral principle of yours. You would have supported slavery because they were part of America's directions.
I like to think that I would not have supported slavery, but I don't know.
There's no way to know unless
there's no way to know, because, like, if I had been raised in an environment where it was completely normalized, because I don't know, because I'm a very empathetic person. I don't like seeing other people in pain and suffering. So, like,
you just wouldn't have seen them as people, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to grapple with, is like, if I was raised in an environment where I was told my whole life that they're not people, would I have believed that? Would I have accepted that? Would I have like, I don't know.
No idea.
I like to think that I would still be the same person that I am today, but I can't guarantee that, because we're not just a product of our genetics, we're also a product of our environment.
Yeah, and when your environment is made of poop, you kind of get poop out. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Pat Robertson is now garbage. He will feed the worms.
Rhino, get your doses adjusted. Sleep is important. Yeah, I'm talking about the over-the-counter shit. It's probably perfectly safe for me to take like 5 of them. So they always play the labels so safe on the over-the-counter shit.
Yeah. They'll be like, don't take more than 2 of these ibuprofen tablets. And you're like,
oh,
okay, but what happens if I get the 800 milligram one?
My partner, who happens to be black, is now, I would have been less than to you. I would like to think not. But again, I don't know what I would have been in that environment. I might have been a complete asshole. I like to think not, but I don't know. Anyway, want to talk about Trump's indictment?
What's the next thing we got here? Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Trump's indictment.
Yep. So, how much are we guessing? How much do you want to bet he actually stays in a cell for an extended period of time?
So here's the thing. Ordinarily, I would say the chances are very good.
Yeah.
In most scenarios, given the amount of evidence that's against him, given that there's recorded conversations of him flaunting these classified documents in front of people and telling them, I'm not supposed to show you this, but here they are. Like, you remember that story a little while ago about the guy who, like, leaked classified information in order to get Discord clout?
Yep.
Trump did the same thing, but for less clout.
Yeah, it was clouded around just like MAGA people.
Not even.
They're like less than Discord mods. Just
two
saying.
people. Like, 2 people. I mean, he probably did it for more than that. Those are just the ones that we have recordings of him doing. But like, yeah, he was doing the same thing. He's trying to get clout. Like, oh, look at me, I have access to these classified information. It's like, yep, man, you were the president. We fucking know that. You don't need to flash it around.
Yeah, that's like when you. So that's like you have a partner and you start explaining all of the ways you and your partner have sex to your friends, and there's like, we get it. You two are dating. We expect you guys to do bedroom things. Shut the fuck up. We don't need details. Go away. You've made dinner awkward.
You know, well, making dinner awkward is part of the sex play.
God damn it! Now I know you're the guy that does it.
I am
the
not.
guy that
No.
does it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Dude, even after one day, he might die if he doesn't get his McDonald's. Yeah,
I have a feeling that Egg McMuffins are literally replacing his platelets. God,
he doesn't eat anything as healthy as an Egg McMuffin. Fuck off.
No, he's actually said that's his breakfast is an Egg McMuffin.
Whatever. Anyway, so I don't want to get into like super duper details with this. There are other like podcasts and news sources that are going to do a much better job of this than me, but I have been reading a lot of information about this, and it's a very solid case against him. The problem is that he won the lottery and they drew Eileen Cannon as the judge that presides over this case. If you're not familiar, she was the judge that presided over a lot of the like federal investigation of Mar-a-Lago from last year, and she basically ruled in his favor for everything, in flagrant disregard for precedent, in flagrant disregard for the actual law, and just like made shit up, and like everything she did was overturned on appeal, like everything. So the fact that she is supposed to be the judge presiding over this case means that he might not see jail time over this one. Now, this isn't the like. There's probably the Georgia indictment is coming down the pipe soon. So Eileen Cannon don't practice in Georgia. So hopefully he doesn't draw as much of a sycophant over there. But I don't have a lot of hope for this one. If it was any other judge, I would, because the case is just so goddamn solid. Is like he had documents that he wasn't supposed to have. He knew that he wasn't supposed to have them. He moved them around to hide them from not only NARA and the FBI, but from his own lawyers. So like it's an airtight case. And if it was anyone other than Eileen Cannon presiding, I would absolutely think that he's going to see some jail time for this, at least.
I would love if he just stayed in jail, ran for presidency, split the vote so hard between him and DeSantis that the Democratic nominee, whether it's Biden or whoever it is, just ends up winning because of the split, and then dies in jail. That would be my ideal scenario here.
That would be fantastic.
Republican infighting to the point where it destabilizes the GOP, a death, and then yeah.
My hope is that the moderate Republicans kind of take over the party again, because like it's a big circus shit show, and like the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all them are the loudest, but like I feel like a lot of the mainline Republicans are kind of getting tired of their bullshit. Like Chris Christie said that it's an airtight case against Trump. He wouldn't have said that a couple years ago. And like, I wouldn't call Chris Christie a moderate, like run-of-the-mill Republican. He's pretty hardline. And he's saying that it's a pretty damning case against Trump.
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
Jesus. If we can get a Republican split so hard
Yes.
that a third party like bull mooses its way in.
So Jamanian says this case will be while court case is running appeals central. I'm having trouble understanding that entirely. I think what you're trying to say is that like this whole case is going to be.
It will take a while.
No, Eileen Cannon is going to make a ruling on like the admissibility of a certain piece of evidence, and it's going to be in Trump's favor, and then Jack Smith is going to appeal that decision, and then it's going to get overturned because Eileen Cannon is a hack. And then it's just going to be a big loop of that, and God forbid any of this end up in front of the Supreme Court right now.
The Supreme Court has there was a comment made by a friend of mine who's in Australia. They said, it's really weird to me that the way to replace a sitting Supreme Court, because there is no way to elect them, there is no way to change them. It is simply one dies and their seat becomes vacant, unless they decide to leave themselves. He said, it's very weird to me that there have not been more attempts on the lives of Supreme Court justices over the years.
Mm-hmm. Well,
seeing as that would be the fastest way to change those things. And I was just like, looking at it from an outside perspective, I kind of understand where you're coming from. You would think that would have happened.
But
more.
We're still just hoping for the meteor strikes.
It's just, it's very...
John 73 says, Eileen Cannon, isn't that how artillery accidents happen?
I leaned the cannon. We all died.
Yeah, well, so in other news, I thought about covering this, and just to rub it in your faces, that how corrupt Canada isn't. But there's been some scandal in the Canadian Supreme Court with regards to corruption and stuff like that. And there hasn't been any conclusive stuff coming out of the investigation, but one of our Supreme Court justices just resigned because there was scandal. So they were like, okay, we're going to resign then. So our corrupt justices resign when there's scandal. Meanwhile, Clarence Thomas is out there being like, no, I can take bribes from billionaires. That's fine. I don't need to report that. What the fuck?
America. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I know, just the idea in the idea that there is nothing the American public can do to change the justices, because it is all up to chance on who happens to be in the White House when a death happens. And if the death happens when Mitch McConnell is in the majority position in the GOP, that's another factor that we had to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. There needs to be term limits, and ideally there should be age limits too. Because like there's a Democratic congressperson who I forget her name, but she is like not mentally capable of doing the job anymore. Like she's not even she's missed several months due to illness, and then when she's interviewed about it, she's not even aware that she has missed several months. She's like, no, I was there to vote yesterday. I'm like, no, you were in the hospital yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
Dianne Feinstein. So it's like, there should be, okay, if we can put lower age limits on things like the president, you can't be president unless you're at least 35. Why can there not also be upper age limits? Because like, yeah, sure, maybe you need some time to mature because we don't trust young, immature people to run the country. But would we trust a doddering old senile man to run the country?
No, likely not.
So
but
how about, even if not an age limit, a competency test, annual competency tests for all members of the government in every position, like all the way from president down to your local mayors and city councils.
God, wouldn't it be funny if Marjorie Taylor Greene passed them, but only because somebody was whispering the correct ways to answer in her ear, and then when she did the correct thing, the entire audience would laugh at her?
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Wonder if that ever happened.
Yeah. That was last week's video.
Yep.
Yeah. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Yeah, no, see, that's not a competency test. That was, I know you're joking, and just bringing up the fact that, like, he was bragging about not having Alzheimer's, but, like, that was a diagnostic test that it's like, if your brain is not completely shit, anyone should pass this test. Like, everyone should pass that test. So like the fact that he was bragging about me, like, oh, nobody's done better on this test than me. Like, everybody gets perfect on that test unless they have like Alzheimer's. So
Congratulations, you passed the ASVAB.
yeah, no, it was stupid. Anyway, that's basically, like I said, I'm not going into great detail on this, but like we have recordings of him confessing to the crime. He should go to prison for this. But I have my doubts about that because Eileen Cannon is presiding. So hopefully something from Georgia sticks. Hopefully the thing from New York sticks.
If you want something from Georgia to stick, that's not happening.
Hopefully we can do something about Eileen Cannon presiding over this based on the fact that she was so obviously in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has a history of blatantly ignoring everything about the law and legal precedent in order to rule in his favor. So like clearly she's going to do the same thing here. So like, is there not a way that we can force her to recuse herself or just redo the judge lottery thing? I don't know.
I feel like the fact that the lottery's already landed on her and things are already starting, that can't happen. But I don't know. I'm not a legal expert.
There should be a process for that. I feel like if a judge has displayed like overt corruption in previous rulings, they shouldn't get to continue being a judge. Or at the very least, they shouldn't get to continue presiding over cases that are specifically related to the thing that they display their overt corruption towards.
Mm-hmm. You would think.
Could a circuit order a judge to take remedial law classes? That would be wonderful. I would love to hear in the news that Eileen Cannon has been ordered to take remedial law class, go back to high school civics class.
The Constitution says this, and therefore we can't have schools teaching that the Bible is fact, people. Please stop.
Yeah, so Luigi Potter is saying, I wish we could have competency tests, but I have a feeling people would try to use it for discrimination. So here's the thing, though. Like, it's one thing, like, competency test to vote, like that has a nasty history of being used for discrimination. Like, if you want to vote, you have to, pass this test before you get in. And, the black people haven't been educated, so they're all going to fail the test. So the white people only get to vote, even though the black people are legally allowed to vote. And like that, there's been a horrible history of that in the United States. But we're talking about the people that are actually running the government here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you would expect that in order to...
You expect a level of competency there.
Like, if you're running a company, you are going to expect a certain level of competency from the people that you hire to manage the different aspects of your company. And you will put them to the test. And if they fail the test, they don't get the job or they lose the job. The government, in a democracy, are our employees. They are the people's employees.
They're supposed to be, but that's
They're
not
supposed
how that
to
ends
be
up working.
They are supposed to be our employees. Us voting for them, elections are their job interview. So if they fail the competency test, if they fail the test, then we can say you're fired. Because they are our employees. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not about discrimination.
The problem you run into, though, is for you to get the competency test in, you're going to need the people already empowered to agree to the competency test.
I know, but if we keep pushing for stuff like this, though, eventually someone is going to realize that they're going to get a lot of votes if they advocate for the things that we're pushing for. Like, this is why I've been so vocal in the past of, like, in presidential elections, when it comes to the primary, vote for the most progressive fucking candidate you can. Like, vote Bernie all the way in the what's it called, primaries, because that's how you send the message. When they see that the milquetoast guy is losing his solid edge to the progressives, then the milquetoast guy realizes, hey, if I want to get the progressive vote, I have to appeal to them. Then he becomes more progressive. That's when you send the messages in the primaries. And then when it comes time for the final election, you don't stay home and let Trump win. You go out and vote for the milquetoast asshole that you don't actually want running the country, but you voted for the more progressive one in the primaries. That's how you use your vote to send a message.
Yeah.
So, like,
Marty's in my chat goes, ew, no, not Bernie. Why not Bernie? I can't think of many people better than him that are currently on the Democratic ticket.
At this point, he's too damn old.
Well, yes, he's too damn old, but I'm talking about just in terms of
His policy positions. Yeah,
advocacy.
yeah. No, he's. I mean, there's some things that he's got like that are just impractical. But like, yeah, no, I'm not saying I agree with absolutely every single one of his policy positions, but he was a lot more progressive than pretty much any candidate out there in the last election.
Yeah.
Anyway, tweet time. Oh, starting with Andy Biggs. So the Republicans in the states are now actively calling for violence and war.
Yeah. That's
And I guarantee you that if any violence happens and anyone goes to trial for this, not only will Andy Biggs completely abandon the people that were just, answering his call to war, he will then say that, oh well, this was just using rhetorical speech devices. I wasn't actually
just using
calling people
hyperbole, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm exaggerating for effect. That's all I was doing here. I wasn't actually calling them to war. Never mind that they actually answered the call.
It's only bad when they accidentally answer the call instead of you wanted it, right? It's like accidentally running somebody over with a car versus actually running somebody over with a car.
Schrodinger's cat is chanting rank choice voting, rank choice voting. Absolutely.
Rank choice would be better than first past the post.
Absolutely. 100%. But in order to get someone in office that will implement ranked choice voting, you got to vote for the progressives in the primaries who are advocating for things like ranked choice voting.
Yep.
And then bite the bullet and vote for the milquetoast guy in the final election. Because the progressives aren't actually going to win the nomination because that's just not how it works. It's, I don't know. It's annoying and I hate it. But it is what it is. So yeah, Representative Andy Biggs actively calling for violence. And he will not face consequences for that. I highly doubt it. But here we get to have some fun now. Capturing Christianity, Cameron Bertuzzi.
Oh, great. We have Cameron.
Makes an argument. Says, Premise 1, no purely material thing can be conscious. Premise 2, I am conscious. Okay, I know I'm supposed to take issue with premise 1, but I take issue with premise 2 with regards to Cameron. Therefore, conclusion, I am not a purely material thing.
So, on the one hand...
Adam Broughton says blue in the U.S. is red here and vice versa. Yeah, so for us, the liberals are red and the conservatives are blue, so it gets a little bit confusing when talking across the border.
So... here's the thing. On the one hand, I kind of sort of agree with purely not being a material being, only in the sense that when a thought is thought and thrown into the aether, that's a part of you and your identity. How well it's stored in the meat fats of your brain, up for debate. That's still a part of you in some way, shape, or form. I kind of sort of get where that's going. It doesn't mean jack shit for his fucking syllogism here, though.
No, well, it's a Gestalt thing. Like, yeah, none of the individual parts of me are conscious, but somehow them cooperating together creates consciousness. But yeah, so it's I don't know. It just begs, like, the first premise just begs the question. Like the first premise is the conclusion.
Jesus Christ!
Like, all ketchup bottles are woke, therefore my ketchup bottle is woke. Like, that's basically what he said here.
No, what the fuck is a woke ketchup bottle was never brought into the conversation then?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Premise 1, all ketchup bottles are woke.
Sure, let's accept that as a brute fact. Now, yeah. Charlie, well, I mean, that doesn't matter for you, though. You guys use vinegar and stuff for shit for your fries.
I don't use vinegar for my... You're thinking of the British people.
The bridge people?
That's British. That's my dad. Oh. That's my dad. He puts vinegar on his fries.
I heard the gross. Bridge people, and I was just like, trolls put vinegar on their fries?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I could see that. Trolls, British people, same teeth. Yeah, jeez. No. I mean, vinegar on fries is not unheard of in Canada, but it is more of a British thing than a Canadian thing. And we'd be more likely to use malt vinegar no. Does my dad like malt vinegar or wait? I don't know. Vinegar is used to clean my teapot.
I use vinegar for cat messes. Does that work? Does that count?
I use rubbing alcohol for that.
Use rubbing alcohol?
Yeah.
Why not vinegar and peroxide?
Because rubbing alcohol sterilizes everything. Sterilizes the shit out of everything.
I'm not dealing with this rubbing alcohol propaganda from more than just sake. That's not happening. The entire time my girlfriend has been here, she's been like, "You can use rubbing alcohol to fix that."
Yeah.
You can use rubbing alcohol to fix that.
Rubbing alcohol to me is like Windex is.
When did a bottle of rubbing alcohol get on the desk?
Rubbing alcohol is to me like Windex is to that guy in my big fat Greek wedding.
It solves everything.
It does. I wipe down the counters and then I spray them with rubbing alcohol because it sanitizes them. When the dog shits in the middle of the living room, I pick it up and then I spray the area with rubbing alcohol because it sanitizes it. Vinegar and peroxide, yeah, probably kills most of the germs. 99% isopropyl alcohol, that will kill any fucking thing that it touches.
Okay, so my thing is if a cat urinates somewhere, right? The reason that I would use peroxide or vinegar is because those actually neutralize. The vinegar neutralizes the ammonia. The peroxide comes into contact with biological agents and just kills everything. That's its job. It's what it does. It's why you're not supposed to put it on open wounds.
What's the dilution of peroxide that you're using though? Because that matters.
I've got a thing of like 10% peroxide solution. 10%
is pretty strong, but 99% IPA will kill more shit than 10% peroxide.
Okay, but 99% IPA has one use, and that is cleaning your motherboard.
Yeah, and since I
don't
fidget
use it
with
for other things because it's expensive.
It's not that expensive
compared to 70%. It's like double.
Okay,
here it is. Let's see him fix this boat I sawed in half with rubbing alcohol.
My partner is team vinegar on fries, but as I mentioned, she's from Cayman Islands, so that's her colonialism. That's her inner colonist. No, not colonist. Colonized.
Colonizer?
She's been colonized. No, she's
no.
She's on the other end. She's on the other end of that equation.
Stockholm syndrome made you like vinegar on fries, and we need you to be aware of this.
Oh, she's telling me now I can't find the alcohol. It's in the cupboard where it belongs, or at least that's where I put it. Anyway, Elisha Jarnigan says, one thing I've recently noticed while using YouTube is this. While playing music, I've never had an ad in the middle of the song. However, if I play Christian music, I get ads in the middle of almost every song. Odd. Why? So this person is trying to be conspiratorial and be like, YouTube is, rigged against, it's rigged against Christians. It's making their music unpleasant to listen to by putting ads in the middle. But I've
never heard an ad in the middle of any song ever on YouTube Music specifically.
No, on YouTube Music. I pay for YouTube Music I pay for YouTube Premium, so I get YouTube Music Premium. I do not get YouTube Music Premium on my smart speakers because Google is fucking stupid when it comes to making their software work with their hardware. I fucking hate it. They suck.
That's why I just use my phone and just cast Bluetooth to places.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't, like, when my kids say Google play such and such, and then it says, oh, no, you can't select a specific song unless you pay for YouTube Music Premium. So we're just going to play a playlist that is similar to that. It's like, that's different. But, yeah, anyway, what I found most interesting about this, though, is as a creator on YouTube, I can choose where ads go in my videos and whether or not they show up in the middle of my videos. Now, if I don't remember to choose it, YouTube will do it automatically, and sometimes they are completely ridiculous with that. But someone who's more competent than me will actually make sure to check that for every video. And make good choices, essentially. So what I get from this is, if this guy is telling the truth, if this is an actual thing that happens on YouTube, then what that means is that secular musicians actually care about the integrity of their art, while Christian musicians are trying to make as much money as possible for as little effort as possible.
It's like, you remember that South Park episode where Cartman just took a whole bunch of regular ass pop music and just made it have like Lord in it a few times, and he became the most popular Christian musician of all time?
Yeah, I've often thought the same thing. I was never a big South Park fan. Like, the phase where their humor kind of aligned with mine in my life also happened to hit a time where on the cable network that was airing them, they just aired the same 4 episodes over and over again.
Oh.
So I never
There
really...
was like, let's play Make Love Not Warcraft again.
Okay, some Brenna says ad block for the win. So you're stealing from me. Use code Rhino at checkout when you go to Surfshark VPN, which also has an ad blocker.
I always tell people they can use an ad block on my stuff if they want. I put an obnoxious amount of ads on videos for the people who want to sit through them or have YouTube Premium. If you want to block ads on my shit, go right ahead. I don't care.
See,
it's fine.
If I remember, if it's a short video, like I do between 3 and 4 ads per video. I do 1 ad every 7 minutes of video, roughly. And then when I get to 4 ads, doesn't matter how much video is left, I just stop. So like, if you've gotten this far in the video and you've watched 4 ads, your reward is you get the rest of the video ad free.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go to patreon.com/ViceRhino and sign up there and you get everything ad free. Well, I mean, the videos apparently still have ads in them, because if you're not a monetized channel, YouTube still just puts ads in for some reason, I guess. So my videos aren't ad free on there, but the podcast is.
Latroon in my chat says, please, since last video I watched, you drove Vice Rhino to drink. I don't drive Rhino to drink. He drinks irrespective of my presence. I think.
I'm not a big drinker.
But you're always drinking when I'm... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm the common denominator.
No, I drink on stream.
Damn it.
I drink on stream because I am more entertaining when I'm a little bit buzzed. Because I loosen up a little bit.
I
say things that I might
drunk.
I don't like being drunk.
No.
Yeah.
I make a lot of bad decisions in my life. I would make even more if I was drunk.
Oh, someone's saying things in German about ad block. I can only assume that they're advocating for it and they don't want me to see it, so they write in German.
I mean, it's Senshini. That tracks.
Gary says, he/him is cult speak. Piss off.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I forget the context that this was in, but this is someone that like responded to me. I think I was commenting on a Kevin Sorbo thing or whatever, something about pronouns. Or no, it had nothing to do with pronouns.
Pronouns
they
make you part of the cult.
They just saw that I had
class.
So here's the thing, on Twitter, my name is Vice Rhino.
Yeah.
It's a picture. My profile picture is the picture of the rhino from my logo.
Yeah. You have a bow tie. That makes it a guy.
No, it doesn't. I know girls who wore
Nope, they don't
who
exist.
wear bow ties.
Bi ties?
Bi ties.
Bi doesn't exist either. It's all a liberal conspiracy.
Whatever. So there are hints on my profile that
Guys,
maybe
one of his bad decisions.
Hey, you are not one of... No. Jesus Christ.
My partner brought me shrimp. Yours just said she's a bad decision.
Did you just eat that with the fucking tail on?
No.
I could have sworn I saw the shrimp tail on there as well, and I just short circuited.
No. It's peeled.
Oh, okay.
It's peeled.
I see. It's peeled.
Yeah.
It's peeled. I understand.
It's more
Barry
appealing
in my
that
chat
way.
just went, what the hell? But Barry, did you... When Vice Rhino's not on, we have updates for you, I guess.
Anyway, so my profile on Twitter has no indication of what gender I am. So I put he, him in there so that you know, so that when you're talking about me, you know whether to say he or whatnot. Like,
I know. I just need to remind you something very important.
What?
The existence of pronouns means there's casual nouns as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, noob nouns.
There are casual nouns. There are noob nouns.
Less than lucid, you are objectively wrong. Here, the tails are not edible.
Do not eat them.
It might be physically possible to eat them, and it might not hurt you if you eat them. However, it is in no way the slightest bit pleasant.
So, fun fact:
no.
my friend Wayne, he's one of the ones who helps me run the Sunset City podcast on Fridays. So, he had never tried shrimp. Somehow, at like 25, it was just not a thing he had tried yet. So we went to a sushi place up in Philadelphia. It's a place we're going to be going to again when we go up to the Too Many Games convention in a week. And he was just like, I've never had shrimp before. And we're like, okay, cool. So you should try some of the shrimp. It was an all-you-can-eat place. Go ahead and try some. So he grabbed some fried shrimp that still has the tail on and everything. And it's just like, I've read you can eat the tail just fine. And I'm like, dude, just don't do that. Don't do that. He's just like, crunch. It was fine. He's just like, yeah, it's fine. I liked it. Like, dude, that says more about you than it does about anything else.
Yeah. No, don't eat the shrimp tails. Yeah, I just like, I find it fun. Like, I don't think this made it into the cut, but Jordan Peterson retweeted a thing today where someone was saying like, "Oh, pronouns are not optional," and his response, like, he retweeted that saying, "Up yours, seriously." Like, yours is
yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Yeah, but like, yours is a pronoun, so like, you can't even insult them without using pronouns. So like, what's the problem with using proper pronouns? Like, would Jordan Peterson appreciate it if everybody just started calling him her at this point? Like, I'm not saying to do that because it's a dick move, but like, that's what they advocate for trans people. Like, would they appreciate that if people started doing it? Probably not. So why can they not just appreciate how, you know, using the correct pronouns is just a basic courtesy?
Yeah.
Have you noticed the sudden advent of drag story protesters here in Canada? I have not, actually. I just live in a small town. Like, I am the border town, so every now and then there's a weekend where the convoy protesters show up. It's few and far between at this point, and it's usually like 2 pickup trucks with flags on them. It's kind of pathetic at this point, but yeah, no, I haven't seen drag story protests.
They hate pronouns until somebody misgenders their dog. Oh, is she a sweet bean? He's a him.
My dog is gender fluid. Our youngest is 5, and he doesn't really care about pronouns all that much. So depending on his mood, he will call the dog he, or he will call the dog she. I was like, okay, I guess we have a gender fluid dog. And guess what? The dog doesn't care.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. You need to understand, all cats are girls, all dogs are boys.
Yeah, but my dog's a bitch, though. Like, she's a bitch.
All dogs are boys. Your dog's a bastard. Get it right.
No, she's about to go into heat. And like, she's like on the cusp, and her behavior has changed, and she's just a little bitch now. And it's like, I get why that term means female dog now, because it's very satisfying to look at her behaving the way she is, and be like, why you gotta be such a bitch? And it's technically correct, using the Bart Simpson method of swearing.
You have to say it's technically correct afterwards so the teacher doesn't ground you.
Yeah. Reverend Leo, who is a prison chaplain apparently, says, this is about geology, says, younger layers had to form before older layers. That's how life works. You're young and then you get older. And you say anything is 2 million years or 700 million years or 4.6 billion years is pure suppositional theory. There's no one alive that can personally or possibly back that up. Okay, let's ignore the last half of that for a minute. Younger layers had to form before the older layers because that's how life works. You're young and then you get older.
What? The older layers form first. That's what makes them older layers.
No, but don't you see? You're young first before you get old. So if it's old, then it's
layers form first, obviously.
I don't think he's realized that we're comparing layers to other layers. So it's like, yes, you are young before you get old. However, someone that is older than me was born before me.
No, they were born after you. And as a preacher, this is his way of making sure that he can assault any child without getting in trouble. After all, the child had to form before him because he's older.
Okay, I'm not comfortable with this anymore. Let's go to the next one.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, Logan says, slope sure was slippery, huh? Beginning of the curve says, just let them get married. How does this affect you personally? 10 years later, the White House flew a pride flag, so it's state-enforced homosexuality.
How is it state-enforced homosexuality?
Because when Logan saw that flag flying, he was then forced to suck a dick.
Ignoring the fact that him sucking a dick wouldn't even necessarily be gay in some contexts. Like, ignoring that. What is he just gonna, like, he goes to the White House, Biden's gonna go there with a fucking whip, crack it on him real quick and go, you're the gay now, son. Is that what he thinks is gonna happen?
He's gonna put on his big aviator sunglasses, be like, you're my bottom now, bitch.
It's not gay until the government mandate.
Oh God.
For it is not gay.
Government mandate rhymes with prostate, and that ain't no coincidence, boy.
Oh.
Why?
I kind of wish the government did mandate that every guy has to suck at least one dick in his life. Just for shits and giggles. Just to piss them off. Just to piss them off.
Oh my! That was my head. Through my head?
No love. Everyone must like the cock.
Jesus Christ! Stoff in my chat just went, new law. Everybody must like girl cock.
It's not gay. It's a government mandate.
It's wait, government mandate.
Ooh, mandate. That's it. Doesn't get.
It's the mandate.
Doesn't get gayer than a mandate.
It doesn't. Oh God! Now my chat's talking about food. Get out of here, you fucking degenerates!
Oh God damn it! I was gonna.
God damn it! Why?
I meant to censor this one because he loves attention. So let's just do that. This guy says. This guy says. Just everybody pretend you didn't see the name.
Yeah. Want to fight against racism, bigotry, and transphobia? Stop being a dick to people who disagree with you. Cut off there before anything else is said.
And that's fine.
What are we disagreeing with? If somebody says we should eliminate transgenderism, I'm going to be a dick to them. I'm sorry. There is no...
I'm not sorry.
Let me just calmly address this real quick. Hold on, sir. Could you please clarify what you meant? I just need to... No. It doesn't matter. Stochastic terrorism's a thing. And you said this on a live podium. What you intended no longer matters. You said the genocide thing. I'm going to be a dick to you. I'm going to be cruel. And you've deserved it. Thanks, Michael Knowles. Milk and milk at the same time. Jesus Christ. Next part. Stop using those words as... What are those words? Oh, the racism, bigotry, and transphobia. That there are people who use those as weapons. Sure. But oftentimes, those words are just descriptors of actions. If we see an action that is taken that looks racist, bigoted, or transphobic, guess what word we're going to use to describe that action? Those ones.
No, polite discourse. That's what we'll use to describe that. Because that's clearly what it was. It's all polite discourse.
These people are clearly not racist. What happens when a not racist person says a racist thing? Are we just not allowed to call the thing he said racist?
I've said okay. Here's a confession. I've had racist moments in my life. Like this is something that, like, especially as a white guy who was raised among mostly white people, there are things that are going to happen that it just shows, it's racism in the sense that it's like stereotypical stuff or whatever. But so for instance, my solar panels, the company that I was dealing with had 2 Hispanic people on that I was dealing with regularly, and I through one of them I only ever talked to on the phone or emailed with, and the other one is the one that I saw face to face, and I was completely unaware that I was dealing with 2 different people. And so I had, like, one was Jose and one was Carlos, and I had Carlos saved in my phone as Jose. And then I got a text message from someone saying, hey, this is Jose. I just need to talk to you for a sec about this. And then I texted Carlos, who I had saved in my phone as Jose, in a panic, being like, hey, this guy is saying that he's Jose. He's saying he's you. And like, have you guys been like hacked or something and they've stolen my data or whatever? And it's like, that is an unintentionally racist moment on my part, because I saw 2 Hispanic guys and I got them mixed up because, like, I don't know, they just didn't seem like 2 separate people in my head. So this is the thing that, like, the thing that separates a racist from someone who just does unintentionally racist things sometimes is the reaction to that. See, I see that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had you in my phone in the wrong name. I apologize. And then, like, move on, like, learn from my mistake and grow as a person. Recognize that I made a mistake and grow as a person.
It would be like if you said that, you know, all VTubers look the same.
You're the only VTuber I know, Cirrus.
There's another one right here with me, though. Technically, under some definitions, you are one as well. When your avatar's in use.
Not anymore. I don't use the avatar anymore. Well, I mean, I use it just as part of the background when I'm playing the video that I'm responding to, because that makes it easier to avoid copyright. But that's no longer me speaking. It's just my thing.
Do we have another person? Also, saying like stop making already marginalized groups look bad. That makes me feel like you're like, oh, so you just need people to be perfect tokens. Sometimes, if a marginalized person has been pushed to the edge over and over and over by assholes, their default response becomes less than pleasant. That's a product of being part of a marginalized group.
Yeah, well,
it sucks, but it's the thing that happens.
That's the thing that I like, that people on the right don't understand, is that it, like, so if you're not trans, then you don't have to deal with transphobic bullshit all day, every day. It's just your hobby, if you even engage with it at all. And so, like for me, as an ally, if I get tired of seeing transphobes doing transphobic shit, I can just back off and my life is fine. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. For someone who is actually trans, this is something that they have to fight tooth and nail to defend their identity on a daily basis, all day, every day.
This is,
and
like,
so when someone comes along and says, hey, I'm not going to respect your pronouns, it's not just that one interaction. It's, I've had 50 people tell me that today already, and I'm kind of sick and tired of it, so fuck off.
That's like,
and then they get that reaction, like, oh, you got so upset over the pronoun. It's like, no, they got upset, because
over the 50 instances
they got upset because their identity is constantly under attack.
Yeah,
and that's not something you have to deal with, and you just made it a little bit worse. So it's easy. It's easy for someone who's not personally invested in it to, like, step back and be like, oh, I can be cool, calm, and collected about it. But it's like, no, when it's an attack on your very person, it's harder to be cool, calm, and collected about it. So to expect them to be cool, calm, and collected about it at all times, otherwise, oh, you're asking a level of
stoicism that you yourself wouldn't be able to have.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this guy doesn't have that. Have you seen him melt down and throw temper tantrums? And, like, it's kind of amusing, actually. He, like, goes on these self-righteous blocking threat things where he's like, oh, if you say this one more time, I'm gonna block you forever and I'm never gonna unblock you. It's like,
that's a happy
who
place for a lot of
fucking
people.
cares, buddy? Who fucking cares? My life will be better for it.
So like, it's like for so me and Saki, we went to a place called Cheeseburger Bobby's, which I don't know if you have those up there.
No.
But it's a build your own burger place. You ask it for cooked a certain way, and then you get it, and you go to a salad bar and you build it there. Like that's just what it is. We ate there, and then I was just like, hey, I kind of have to use the restroom. So I guess I have to as well. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. And she's just like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going back there because she's trans and this is Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there are some situations where that's not the most comfortable scenario.
Yeah. And that creates a level of stress that cis people just don't deal with. And so it's easier for a cis person to be cold, cool, and collected about it than it is for an actual trans person who this actually affects them personally.
Because we have a measure of distance.
Yeah.
We observe this stuff. We don't experience it.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry for not censoring him earlier. Back to Dr. Frank Turek, who says Jesus is the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way an infinite God who is infinitely just can allow unjust people like ourselves to not be punished. He punishes himself.
How does he punish himself?
He had a bad weekend.
I've had a lot of bad weekends.
Yeah, but he had a bad weekend where he got whipped and crucified.
I mean, okay, and then he got better.
Okay, but she got better.
You turned me into a newt.
I got better.
Like, okay, look, his weekend was getting nailed by a bunch of Romans. Okay, that sucks.
I don't know. That sounds like a good time.
Depending on who you are, that could be a good time. So much out. For some people, that's a good weekend.
Yeah, but like, so here's the thing: like, his infinite God, who he is all powerful in his mind, was very limited in how he can save people from what he will choose to do to them after they die. So this is
he didn't come twice. The second coming is supposed. God is he's the God of edging. The second coming has been happening for 2,000 years.
Yeah. So one of the things that I don't really understand about Christianity that I didn't understand when I was a Christian is like the whole idea of I lost my train of thought.
You okay?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just pulling a Charlie Kirk.
You went off script.
Yeah.
This whole episode has been scripted the entire time. That's the trick.
Oh God, what was I saying? God's all powerful. Oh yeah. Okay, so why is death the cutoff point for salvation? Like, if we are going to live for an eternity, that seems rather arbitrary, does it not? And like the Bible says that everybody will bow before God and acknowledge that he is Lord one way or the other. Just some of us will be cast into hell afterwards. So it's like, so clearly that what that means is that if we were provided with adequate evidence of God's existence and that Christianity is true, we would believe it and we would be saved. So if that's the case, then why can that not happen after death? Like if eternity is the life that really matters in the first place, then why does the life that doesn't matter and how we behaved in the life that doesn't matter and what we believed in the life that doesn't matter, why is that what determines our eternal destiny, so to speak?
My headphones just fell and my face got stuck.
So do I need to remember what I just said and repeat it for you?
No, because you were talking about how death should not be the cutoff point. There's no reason it should be the cutoff point for salvation. If we're eternal and God's eternal, why is that the arbitrary area? And if he's an unlimited God, then he has the ability to put it wherever the fuck he wants. It doesn't have to be there. None of it has to be this way.
Yeah, and like if this life is just a test to see if we would actually like pass this test or whatever. There could be a second test after death. We're like, okay, you lived your life. You were an atheist in life. Sucks to be you. So now you better do well on the second test in order to make it into heaven. And the second test is after you die. Like now you have 100% proof that I exist. I'm standing right here in front of you talking to you. Now commence second test.
How the afterlife works in the Dresden Files. It just you go to an in-between place and you either accept a job being one of the like guardians in the in-between place, or you go get judgment based on what your belief was in life.
So I am reminded now of so an author that I read a lot of as a kid, Piers Anthony. I tried to read some of his books as an adult, and it's one of those moments where it's like, oh, this guy is probably like this guy at the very least he's like a right-wing, like anti-feminist kind of guy or whatever. Like every male character is described by how capable they are and how amazing they are, and how like, oh, even though they don't,
and every woman's a trophy,
even though they don't look the greatest, they're such a great catch, they have these good qualities or whatever. But and every woman is described by how voluptuous she is. How big are her breasts? How what is the ratio of breast to buttocks, and what is the curvature there?
An easy litmus test for is your author a male is, did they describe a woman being turned on by her nipples getting hard? Every time I've read an author and they have described a woman getting turned on that way, just like, yep,
sir,
dude.
He's got this series called The Incarnations of Immortality, which I remember kind of liking as a little Christian boy, because like the whole premise is that like gods exist based on how many people believe in them, and the more people believe in them, the more powerful they are. And like it's one of those sort of scenarios. And like throughout the course of the books, you go through, like, each book is written from the perspective of one of the different incarnations. Like you get the book from Death's perspective and Kronos's perspective, the god of time, and like Gaia and whatever. And in the end, it turns out that Satan was a good guy the whole time, and they end up replacing God. But in order to replace God, you have to get all of the incarnations to agree on the new God candidate. And so Satan had chosen someone. And this is where it gets really, really yikesy. Is like I said, as an adult, I tried to read these again. I tried to like listen to the audiobooks, and I couldn't get past the first book because it was just so misogynistic. But I remember that like one of the key points at the end when they replace God is that in order to get like, because Satan is one of the incarnations, so he has to agree on the guy that's replacing God that everybody has to agree on. So they all have to agree, and Satan. And so they're like, oh, well, how are we going to get Satan? Like, well, we need to find someone who is good, but otherwise has one fatal flaw that Satan can agree to or whatever. And so what they land on is there's a judge, like a guy who is a judge in the mortal realm, who does everything is absolutely by the book and everything's perfect and everything, but he has a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old. But it's okay. It's explained in the book that it's completely consensual on both people's ends. The 13-year-old consents fully and everything.
How did the 13-year-old consent?
I don't remember exactly,
How?
but it's like,
It doesn't make any sense.
But like now, thinking back on it now, I'm like, okay, so he's probably a pedophile, and he should probably be in therapy. Oh, this person, I thought she was 15. I don't remember. I read them when I was a teenager, and like I said, I didn't get past the first book in the series as an adult. But it's one of those like, ugh. Like, and I still have a box full of his books in my basement that I was like going to encourage my kids to read because I loved them so much as a kid, so my kids will love them too. And like, no, I'm rethinking this one.
Get him to read Keys to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Garth Nix is generally a pretty good. Garth Nix is the author who I found out about women's periods from, and it was in a fantasy novel in post-apocalyptia, in a kid's book.
I don't know. Most of my sex ed came from porn. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, all of mine had to. I grew up in a Christian school. We didn't have sex ed.
I also went to a Christian school, but we did have sex ed. It just wasn't very good. Like our sex ed teacher could be completely derailed for the entire class if someone just yelled out the word penis, because he would get all embarrassed.
I just realized Axolotls in my chat just said, "Oh, Shade's children." Thank you. Somebody knows the Nick's book, where one of the women complain, or one of the teenagers in the book complains about having to like cut a tracker out of her wrist, literally by going, "I already have to bleed enough now. I don't need to do this too."
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the tweets, and it's after 10 o'clock, so that's my bedtime.
Nexus time.
Oh God.
That's just my chest.
Yeah,
that is just my chest.
I thought yeah, there we go. I did fix it. I just didn't fix it on my Stream Deck.
Jesus.
Oh God. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm a professional.
We both do this full time professionally, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe me when I say that sometimes.
Yeah. No, this is my job. I get paid for this.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? Why do you pay me for this? Anyway, that's the end of the stream. As always, fuck off.